Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you all the books I've recently acquired. I've picked up books from the library book sales, little free libraries, thrift stores, independent bookstores, and probably other places too that I can't remember right now because it's been a couple weeks of collecting some new to me books, and I'm just really excited about all of the ones I have here with me today, and I'm just really excited to share with you all of the new to me books. So they are all used books, which I love. I love used books. I actually prefer buying used books over new books. I just feel like they've had a life already, and now that book is in my hands and I'm ready to give it a new life. My favorite is when the used book has dog ears or annotations, things underlined. I love reading books that have been annotated and seeing what stood out to the reader before me. I think that's so special and one of the many gifts that reading gives us, being able to share and exchange thoughts, not with only the author, but also with other readers. So I don't know if any of these are annotated. That will be a gift when I open up the book and begin to read, but we shall see, and ultimately I'm just really excited. So without further blabbering on, I want to get into some of the books that I have recently acquired. Now, I have read some of these, which I'll probably be able to tell you a little bit more about, and I picked them up because I want to do rereads, but all the others are new to me, so I probably won't give the best synopsis, but I'll share with you what I can. So as you can see, it's quite a large stack, so let's get to it. First, I picked up The Secret Book of Flora Lee by Patty Callahan Henry. And first of all, that cover is absolutely gorgeous, and I feel like I need to read it immediately because this looks like a book you should read in May or June, just based on that cover. The lush green grass, that beautiful flowing river, and that beautiful sky. I should pick this up soon, but I first heard about this book on, I believe it's Darling Desi, her channel. She used to be a booktuber. Now I think she's expanded her realms and makes other videos that are always so beautiful. But she talked about this book and I was intrigued. So from what I gather, it takes place during the Second World War. So there are sisters and they distract themselves by making up tales and stories to keep themselves distracted and occupied during this war. And one day one of the sisters goes missing. And years later, the other sister happens upon a bookstore, and in that bookstore, there is a title of a book that is very similar, if not identical, to one of the stories these sisters shared when they were just kids. And it's kind of like, how is that possible? My sister has been missing, and this title is the exact same title of a story I once told my sister that was completely made up. So I guess there's a mystery element to this. It also just seems very cozy. Words like magic and storytelling and bookstore are popping out to me when I read the synopsis, so I'm sold on just that, and I do hope to get to this one soon. So that is The Secret Book of Flora Lee. The next one I have is The Victory Garden, probably another book I should read this time of year, being that it's late spring at this point. And I believe I picked this one up at a little free library. And what stood out to me were the words herbal garden. So from what I understand, there is a young woman who is taking care of an estate, and while she's there, she comes across forgotten journals. She begins to read these journals and she learns of another woman, a medicinal woman, who devoted her life to her herbal garden. So I don't know what's going to come of this story, but finding journals about a woman who's devoted herself to an herbal garden is definitely intriguing to me. I also just hope that they talk about some of the herbs and the medicinal purposes. I find that so fascinating. I love natural remedies and using food as medicine, so I know this is a fiction story, but it would be really cool to see if I learn about any herbs and their medicinal properties in here. Who knows, right? That was the Victory Garden by Reese? I'm not sure. Reese Bowen. So we shall see about that one. Already 2 books that kind of seem like they would go well together. Maybe I should read these 2 back to back. Time will only tell. Changing the Season with a Christmas book. I saw it, I had to get it. I mean, when December rolls around, I know I'm going to want to read a Christmas story, and I don't have many with me here, so this will come in handy. It's The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. I haven't read anything by Lucy Score, and I did read the back of this, and I'm not sure if it's going to be a little too spicy for me, but I'm going to give it a shot just because it's a Christmas story, and it seems like it's in the world of a Hallmark film. We have a town manager and we have a TV star, and they're in a small town, and we have the town manager and this TV star there together during the Christmas season. So I would imagine it's like every other Christmas rom-com Hallmark type story, which I'm all for. I devour those movies come Christmas. They are the ultimate cozy, guilty pleasure, and you know what? They're around for a reason. They're just enjoyable. So hopefully the Christmas Fix gives me that little fix that I always want come December. All the cute and cozy. So The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. If anyone has read anything by Lucy Score, please let me know in the comments, because it does say that it is a romance and I'm not sure of the spice level, and it would be nice to have a little bit of a preview before I dive in, just in case. C.S. Lewis's Mere Christianity. This one is just, my husband found this one for me, and I love an old beat up copy of a book. I mean, if that has not been well loved, look at it. To me, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Somebody got something out of this book. I have a copy of this book, not with me here in California. My copy's back in New Jersey, and the first time I read it, I annotated it, and I learned so much. So having this copy here makes me want to reread it, because I remember gleaning so much from this book and gaining more of appreciation for C.S. Lewis and his mind and his brilliance. I haven't read the entire Narnia series. I'm slowly working my way through that, but I can tell that he's such a great writer through those fictional works. So to experience some of his non-fiction, like I said, I just gained a greater appreciation for C.S. Lewis. So if you don't know, Mere Christianity was originally a radio broadcast, if I remember correctly. And this radio broadcast was aired in the 1940s. And after he broadcasted these conversations, he later compiled them and published them because I guess they were well liked and well received. So we have Mere Christianity, which is a compilation of these radio shows. And C.S. Lewis is just pondering human nature, pondering God, pondering religion in the 1940s, so during World War II, where there was a lot of morally gray things occurring. So it's definitely interesting to have his thoughts on human nature, the laws of humans, and God, and all of these heavy-hitting topics during a time such as World War II, where a lot of things were coming to question because of what was going on in the world. So I did read this several years ago, and I am due for a reread because the details are foggy, but we have topics like the law of human nature, what lies behind the law, forgiveness, charity, hope, faith. Is Christianity hard or easy? Nice people or new men? And so on. So lots of really interesting topics. If you are interested in a theologian's approach to religion and Christianity in particular, I do recommend C.S. Lewis's Mere Christianity, and I do look forward to giving this a reread. Hopefully Hopefully it stays intact because we do have the cover hanging on there, but we shall see. That was Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. I got a copy of Anne of Avonlea. I got this at an independent bookstore not far from me, and I went in and the owner asked me if I was looking for anything, and Anne of Green Gables was something I was looking for. I do want the physical copies. If you've been watching some of my other videos, I've been listening to Anne of Green Gables, but I want the physical copies, so I am on the hunt. He didn't have the first Anne of Green Gables, but he had the second Anne of Avonlea. So I got myself a copy for a really great price. I love that bookstore. It's all used books and it's wonderful. I'm always finding something there. So Anne of Avonlea is the second in Anne of Green Gables, and I hope to eventually have every single book in this series because I do want to reread these as well so I can annotate them. That is Anne of Avonlea by L.M. Montgomery. I don't even know what book we are on right now. What is this? 2, 4, 5, 6. The 6th book that I've recently acquired. This was from a library book sale. The Red Pony by John Steinbeck. One thing I will say, I love that a lot of John Steinbeck's books are so skinny. To me, that is encouraging because you know what? Every now and then you need to take a break from the long books and just have a nice little refreshing quick read. I want to read more classic literature, especially American classics. I have read a few of John Steinbeck's books, but I didn't know about The Red Pony, and when I saw this at the little library sale, I figured why not. So from what I understand, this book is about a boy who lives in Northern California on a ranch, and he is used to being around horses. He knows how to raise them, he knows how they act, but his father gives him a hot-tempered pony, and he has to train this horse and so on. The last sentence in the description of the book says, Jody discovers there are still lessons he must learn about the ways of nature and particularly the ways of man. So I guess while training this horse, he doesn't learn just about horses, but he also learns about how humans act as well. So maybe we have a little bit about self-discovery and growth in this book. I am looking forward to picking up The Red Pony. I don't know when I will, but I have a feeling that I'll be able to speed through it once I do decide to pick it up. This one's a fun one. I got this at a thrift store. It's called Salt, Lemons, Vinegar, and Baking Soda. So all of those great, tried and true, natural ingredients that can help you do so much, whether it's for medicinal purposes, cleaning purposes, and so on. When I saw this book, I just had to grab it because it's just something I feel like we should all have around our house. And I know the internet can probably give me all the answers that are in this book, but there's just something about flipping through it and finding exactly what I need, or just learning about what salt, lemons, vinegar, and baking soda can do. For example, cast iron cleaner, a wine chiller, refrigerator cleaner, so lots of cleaners. T-shirt whitener, I love that. We have dishwasher wash, plastic shower curtain cleaner, so a little bit of everything, a lot of cleaners, which I'm not surprised about. We have pet uses and kid activities, which I think is so cool. So you can do kid activities with all natural ingredients. This one is with baking soda and vinegar, make objects swim. So it's a fun little science experiment, which I love. I remember when I was a kid, we used to make oobleck, and that was its own natural science experiment. I believe it's cornstarch and water and maybe something else. I could be wrong on the exact recipe, but I do remember there were natural ingredients in it, and it was a blast to make and play with. If you made oobleck as a kid, let me know in the comments, and if you have a recipe for it, let me know what it is because I'd be interested to see if they are all natural ingredients. The next book I have is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This is definitely my favorite Emily Henry book. I am too behind. I know she just released a new book, so I haven't read her newest, and I haven't read, is it Funny People? I'm not 100% sure on the title, but I haven't read her two newest releases, but I have read Book Lovers, and I believe this one is my favorite. I am going to be doing a reread of this in May, and I'm very, very excited about it. I'm rereading a couple books in May, and they're just light, happy, fun reads, so I am looking forward to starting this one soon. I haven't read Book Lovers in a few years, so I am foggy on some of the details, but what I do remember is that it's about two people in the book world, and they happen to run into each other in a small southern town in the summer. They have met in the past, they don't necessarily get along all that well, so to run into each other in a small southern town is kind of out of the ordinary. And I remember the main girl, Nora, and she's not too thrilled about it. So I do want to reread this because I am foggy on all the details, but that is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. And now for the library books that I've checked out. Book 2 in the Inheritance Games series, is that what it's called? I'm not sure the name of this series. Yeah, it's called an Inheritance Games novel. So I read the first book, The Inheritance Games, last year. I've been wanting to pick up the second one ever since I finished the first. I sped through the first book, The Inheritance Games. It completely captivated me. I wanted to know what was next. I was trying to figure out the clues and the games and the riddles and all of that stuff. And I remember being totally shocked by the end. So I'm hoping that this one also delivers. I do want a couple books that I could speed through, and I'm thinking that this one might be good for that. So I will be reading the Hawthorne Legacy in May and maybe June, depending on how quickly I can finish all the other books I want to read in May. It is a library book, so I should probably prioritize it, but we'll see about that. Could always renew it. And the other library book is also the second in the series. We have Charlie Thorne and the Lost City by Stuart Gibbs. I read Charlie Thorne and the Last Equation back in, I want to say, September or October, and I loved it. This is like middle grade, I want to say, middle grade mystery adventure, but it's crafted so well. It's very smart. It's very clever. In the first book, we have Charlie Thorne, this young genius, and she is trying to track down this equation that Albert Einstein left right before he died. She's trying to track it down, and she's trying to solve it. And she's a genius, so of course she's able to solve it, but the mystery and the adventure of the story is so involved because there are other secret agents and there are bad guys and all that other stuff getting in her way, and she gets to travel all throughout the world trying to solve this equation, this mystery. So I'm thinking that Charlie Thorne and the Lost City is going to be a similar outline, but this time we have Charles Darwin. So what I gather from this series so far is that we have Charlie Thorne, our young genius, and she's always trying to crack a code or solve a puzzle of a previous genius. So first we had Albert Einstein, now we have Charles Darwin. And I did get to about page 40 so far, and it seems to be similar to Charlie Thorne and the Last Equation. So I think I am going to like it, and it's going to be another book that I can speed through. Even though I haven't read this book completely, I do recommend this series. I just have a feeling that it's just fun, especially if you have littles in your life around middle grade age. I think that this is something that they would also be really intrigued and fascinated by. So that was Charlie Thorne and the Lost City by Stuart Gibbs. This is the last book in my big stack of books here. Let's see if I can bring them over without them falling. So lots of books that I've acquired recently, and I'm excited about all of them. Again, I should prioritize those library books, but there are a lot of books I do want to get to in this stack. So let me know if you've read any of the books in this stack. Let's see if I can. There we go. Let me know if you've read any of the books in this stack and let me know your thoughts and opinions on them. I look forward to completing some of these very soon. If you'd like to stay updated and see what I complete in the next couple weeks or months, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can see what I'm reading and how I'm liking them. Let me know in the comments if you've acquired any books recently and where you got them. Was it an independent bookstore? Was it a library sale? Are they just library books that you've checked out? Let me know. I always love to hear about what books people are picking up and reading, because that's how I get my book recommendations too. So thank you so much for watching my book haul today. Hopefully you were introduced to a title here that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.